So what I'm doing here is that I'm creating an array of integers from my constructor, right? Because what happens is that the main application, the main method of my application simply says, let us create this dice roller, right? So we create it, and I get this box. So the constructor of this box executes, and in its constructor, I'm saying, let's create an array of integers, but the length of this array of integers is now known, because once I create a pair of dice, the dice pair instance, I can ask this pair of dice, what is the maximum sum that I can possibly get from this pair of dice. And so then I use this the sum to create a brand new array of integers of this particular size. And now I can refer to stats to my array through this object reference. So what happens is that the constructor of this object also creates this array dynamically using the new operator, and it knows how big the array of integers should be, right? So this is like little array of integers. Since it's also an object, there's nothing wrong like with me trying to draw it like 3D shape, something like that. So this is my dice roller, and this is my array that it creates internally during its construction time. Okay, so I have the pair, and I have the stats. So the constructor does its job and populates all of this. So let me try to see if I can actually save everything, and if I can compile this. Let me verify that there's nothing that doesn't. Error, invalid method declaration, return type required. And that on dice roller 8. Apparently it probably needs a null here. Oops. What is this error? Let me find out. Yep. So definitely the problem is that the result of my copy and paste or whatever I did, this should be the dice roller. You're absolutely right. It's a little hard to talk and type and think about it. So anyway, thank you. Yes, so we have the constructor, and it does this work. So now I allocate this this integer array of particular size. What would be convenient for me would be to say, all right, if a roll series is executed, so someone wants to roll the dice 20 times, right? So my roll series call comes in. I get my series length is like 20 times. I generate all these values. In reality, I will be generating like 12 all the time. But if it all gets generated, then it would be convenient for me to keep my stats by doing this. Stats, which is an array. Use sum as an index. And simply increment it, right? Just record that this combination took place. You know, it was rolled. So we want to record this particular fact that, well, you know, we got this sum, and it could be 2 or 6 or 12 or 11. Well, anything in that range, right? Anything that our pair of dice can produce. And once that combination rolls, this is basically the sum of the two dice. And I would like to keep my stats by simply recording that this really took place, right? So I would like to increment it. Now, note that Java compiler populates stats array with zeros. So this is extremely convenient for me because I'm ready to start, working with my stats, right? On the other hand, on the other hand, uh, if I call this again, the statistics will be cumulative, right? Because I never zero out my array. Unfortunately, in this case, if I want to zero it out, I need to basically what I need to do in my role series, in preparation for my role series, I can say clear stats, right? Just if that's the case, that's fine. I can say clear stats, and this can be private, private void clear stats, and I could use a loop such as index uh, integer index, which equals 0 because our arrays are 0 based. Then I can say in a loop for index less than stats length. Of course, length is a field, the data field that each Java array gives us, so that we can find out what its size is, right? And I can say plus plus index to increment index on each iteration, and simply erase stats of index, simply erase it, right? Just set it to 0. Now, you already know that this is inefficient. This is a little bit inefficient because what I could do instead, right? I could use arrays, fill, and fill my stats, right? Fill my stats with like from I guess I don't even need to specify what the range is. I can just fill it with 0, just like that. And with arrays, I need to fix imports just to make sure that I use the import Java arrays, right? And so this would be preferable method of doing this. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to remind you what the for loop, manually coded for loop would look like, right? So apparently, this is a better choice, right? This is a better choice. This is more clean code. It is also guaranteed to be the fastest code. So, all right, I guess I'll just comment this out for now. Okay, just use multi-line comment to comment this out, but to bring up the idea that you could use a for loop, to work with the individual elements of an array. So now I clear the stats, and so every time I roll a series, I get this array here, array of integers, which is completely filled with zeros, right? So then this object, talks to the dice pair, which makes the roll, executes the roll, and I record my stats. So this is a demonstration of how you can implement the dice roll, right? The dice roll, or start working with it. And I'm trying to tell you what this is. However, my project so far has a nasty bug. Let me find this place. If I try this, my sum is going to be in debug, in debug version that I have right now. In debug version, sum will always be 12, right? Because what I do in the dice pair, I basically say roll, so call die 1 and die 2, execute the roll, and the roll here says inside the die class, it says just return the side count. So I get 6 plus 6 as a result of this roll. And so obviously I'm always going to be getting 12. So the statement here will be equivalent to, in debug mode, in debug version, I guess, right? What I will be getting is that stats 12 equals, stats 12 plus 1. This is really what's going to be executing as a result of my, hard coding of the roll inside the dice. I never coded any real roll in there. So in this case, I'm in trouble because I cannot use 12. Because remember, the maximum, the size of my array is 12 too, right? 12 as well. So because we get the maximum sum, and it's 12, and that's unfortunately, not correct. So I need to allocate in order to be able to use subscripts. Something like this. Let me comment this here. In order to make subscripts 1 through 12 illegal, I need to allocate an array of 13 integers, right? So obviously 1 through 12 is hard-coded. If you finish the previous homework, you're configuring the side count. Your side count can be more than 6, but that's, I'm just trying to think loud and just kind of use this as an example. So this should remove the bug from what I do. Let's save this.